Hello, everyone. This is the IC Caribbean podcast, the podcast that takes you on bi-monthly departures to the stunning Caribbean destinations. You will discover tourism industry, the best Caribbean vacation spots, popular events, and the latest offers from this part of the world. I am your host, Linky, a Caribbean native of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, an inspiring entrepreneur. I am soft-spoken with an infectious laugh that destroys the quiet with pleasure. So get ready and fasten your seatbelts to land at our next destination.
My island home, there's nothing sweeter, there's nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. We going to Rodney Bay, straight after Cozy Day. Fish Friday, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Link up by the Cabaway, then straight to Ansare. Street party, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Oh, St. Lucia, oh, nothing sweeter than you. Sweet island, sweet nation, sweet woman, nothing sweeter than you. Oh, St. Lucia, look, I'm in Trinidad, one of the better years I've had. All of the girls, them balling, freaky girls, we can see them calling. Yet I miss my country bad, but I'll be back for carnival. I can't wait for the big bad truck. Mega Joey Lincoln, a fetting, a liming, a drinking a lot. A jamming, a Indian, I meet from the door. The rest of the world watching me like a dot, but still I love my island. As soon as I wake up to the roti shop, I eating some double the pepper well hot, but missing my green pig and saltfish a lot. Oh God, I love my island.
Alrighty. I'm not seeing. Okay, today it's nice to be back with our live IC Caribbean podcast. Been out for about 3 months. Today, our special guest is Niedra Gabriel. She is living in California. She is Pilates. She's a yoga Pilates trainer, teacher, and let me just start over with that. Today, our special guest is Niedra Gabriel. She's living in California. She's our she have about 40 years experience in the Pilates yoga training. She's been all over the world and she trained in different places. Also does a retreat in different part of the world. So we like to invite our special guest to the podcast, IC Caribbean podcast, Niedra Gabriel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You see, I'm still a little nervous after 5 shows. I'm still a little nervous, but again, welcome back, and it's really glad to have you back here at our podcast show. So let's get into our podcast today. Let's talk about St. Lucia. There's a lot of islands in the Caribbean. Why? How did you get to St. Lucia? Could you walk us through that? Why? Why St. Lucia to do your show?
Well, yes, and I am going to St. Lucia, arriving, I should say, August 27th, which is next Sunday. I have been to this island many times. In fact, I worked there at a resort for 3 years. I was a yoga and Pilates teacher there. So I developed a very strong connection with the island. I was there between 2007 and 2010. Prior to that, I had been a guest presenter there because they like to bring people from the UK and from the US over every so often as guest presenters because the resort where I worked at, called the Body Holiday, have lots and lots and lots of classes. They're kind of into the body. So you have fitness classes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can move a lot. and you can eat a lot, and you can swim a lot, and you can snorkel a lot. It's an awesome, awesome resort. So that time period, I developed a very close relationship with the management. I am also a teacher trainer, so I have been brought out quite a few times to train their staff in yoga and Pilates. So I have this dual relationship. I'm an educator and I'm also a guest presenter, and I've been invited back to do both. Obviously, since COVID, there's a turnover of staff. There's always a turnover. So every few years, they bring me back for the next generation of their local people that work there to train them in yoga and Pilates. And that's basically where I'm going. And I'm going to be a guest presenter, which is so wonderful because having lived there, I have many, many, many friends, which I'm looking forward to reconnecting with.
Awesome. When is the best time to visit St. Lucia? I notice they have different festivities during the year. So from your experience, when is the best time to visit St. Lucia and why?
I think it matches probably all the islands. I believe September, October through February, I think is what's called high season, because it's the most temperate climate and dry. Because there's a time period when it's, I'm probably coming in during the slow season, right at the tail end of it. July, August is usually, gosh, if I remember, very hot, very humid, and possibly raining. I'm actually don't even remember anymore, but it tends to be. Oh yes, now I recall also, because they have a lot of Europeans coming out. So the Europeans also like to travel during the winter when it's super cold and miserable, and come to the Caribbean where it's hot and sunny and gorgeous. And then in the summer, the Europeans may or may not travel the same way. It also tends to be much more hot and humid. It's always nice. I have to preface this. It's always fabulous to visit the Caribbean, my island, St. Lucia, because no matter what time of year you go, it's a great break from life, great break from the Western world style of existence. People are very happy, very warm, beaches, water, all the things that the Caribbean represents is always there, 365 days a year.
Okay, I noticed in 206, they start the Ramen Food Festival. I noticed all the islands are doing it now. Have you ever experienced that, the Ramen Food Festival Day in November?
I personally have not experienced it. I know while I was there, there was a jazz festival. There's gosh, what's it called? Carnival.
Right.
There's always big events that take place. Ramen food. I mean, I'm mostly vegetarian and I don't drink a lot, so I'm not like a prime person for such a festival myself personally. I've not, but I know that it would be lots of festivities. Restaurants would have an abundance of ramen food, and it would be a big party on the streets nonstop.
Okay, good. Yeah, I noticed Carnival and the Music Fest is very huge. I was kind of Googling the events, and I think the Carnival, which in June and July is one of the biggest events, next with the Music Festival in May, and then you have, I think it's the Roman Food Festival in November.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're correct. It's always something to do now. Tell us about your story with yoga and Pilates, and what would you consider is your biggest accomplishment?
I feel like I have lots of accomplishments, so I'm not sure which one to discuss. But fundamentally, I am a big health and wellness person. Right. And movement is very, very key to me, as far as I'm concerned, for a person to feel authentic and integrated in their body. And I love those modalities because they have they deal with alignment and function and self-awareness in a great extent. So let's say if you're out playing football, which I'm a big fan of, like, I mean, doing anything, tennis, anything else, it's very game oriented. So the function is very much like and you are very physically active, but if you have certain weaknesses in your body, your knees or one hip is out, or you have scoliosis, or you don't have a strong core, that may or may not become a problem over time. And these are it's kind of like, I always like to say, this is like taking your car to get a tune up. It will, you take your car, get a tune up, get everything, all the fluids fixed, everything, the tires calibrated, everything calibrated and set in motion. Then you go out and you race that car like crazy and you hit the walls. But it's like tune up. So you keep caring for your physicality. It increases your awareness and sensitivity for your body. So I started for myself and then got into teaching, which I absolutely love doing because it's so interesting to work with different personalities, different people, figure out how to meet the person exactly where they're at so they get the enhancement and they want to keep on going. And because I'm very, like, to me, each person is a code, and they have a unique blueprint. There's like this, how do I find the key to unlock this person? So I enjoy it. I enjoy the relationship it gives me. And in time, I've also developed a lot and worked with a lot of making teachers, which I absolutely love doing because it's kind of passing it on. I've been to the Caribbean and I have a whole generation of babies on the island, local people that are now yoga and Pilates teachers and have gone on, I'm sure, to get study with other trainers, other teachers as well. But I'd love to open up this world, share this world that I love, and then see it be part of making it grow and, reach more people. And make people who do it happy and feeling good and feel more young and less stressed. Yeah. So
from the get-go, who inspired you? Who would you say that give you that idea to go into yoga?
well, I started out wanting to be a dancer.
Okay.
I kind of had this one-track mind all my life in an abstract way. When I was 5, I don't even know if I was in my first ballet class. I'm from Israel. And I remember telling my mom very seriously, I really meant it, I'm going to be a dancer. I'm not going to get married and have children and do all of that. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I actually have ended up being married twice, so I didn't quite fulfill that. But I kind of knew I was going into this thing with my body and that there's something beautiful that's bigger than just me talking and thinking, but about living very viscerally and being an artist. Well, I did not have a lot of educated knowledge in my younger years. And I trained seriously and I became very, very injured. And I did not fulfill anything with my vision to be a dancer. I did work in 2 companies in Israel, but with a lot of pain. And by 24, I basically stopped because I couldn't be good. And I was always dealing and navigating myself around painful structures. So that brought me into yoga and Pilates, which are therapeutic in nature. And they're not competitive. You're not in a company. You're not needing to do anything. You can actually take your time to figure yourself out. And it just dovetailed into becoming a teacher. So that was the journey.
Right.
And it's been a very good journey because I'm still doing it now. And I'm 68 now. So go figure.
I still like to get back before we take a break. I like to get back with, so you have so many accomplishments. Is there one that stand out, or is there a moment or a place that you feel that this was the biggest thing that ever happened from since you start into the yoga Pilates career?
I'm trying to think. It's more like, it's not like an external accomplishment, although I've received accolades or acknowledgments. I've worked in situations where I've been recognized. but it's more the accomplishment, I would say, for me, is a very internal one. Really trusting myself, really understanding that what I'm doing in life is right, and it's right for me because I'm learning more about myself, and it's right because I'm influencing the world around me synergistically for betterment. So it's not like I can say there's a moment in time where I said, wow, what an accomplishment. But I remember coming out of a yoga class at the Body Holiday in the Caribbean. They are affluent people, 40 people in the class. And after class, always I would have this whole lineup of people wanting to talk to me. Very affluent, very well-to-do, lots of money, women and men. And I always enjoyed that moment after class, meeting people, hearing their story, talking to them about whatever the issues was. And there'd be this emptiness in their eyes and this hunger because they touched something when they were moving. They felt something and they wanted that sense of life. But then they went back to having the nice dinner and the drinks and buying the next sweater and, getting into possessions and being busy in the world. And that hunger, I went, they may be much richer than me, but what I have is priceless, which is really confidence in myself, confidence in, and this fire of being alive. I don't have another way. We're all blessed with life, this spark of life. I had one person say to me, since I've been coming to your class, I kind of started to get to this point where I felt like my life was a monotone. Everything was black and white. I didn't have joy anymore. I mean, everything was okay, but it was like the next to do. She said, I came to class and it was like the color came back into everything. And I went from black and white to color. And I think that's the accomplishment, understanding there's something about living in your body. Maybe it can be measured scientifically as your hormones are functioning better, your circulation is better. I don't know what it is, but something emotionally gets lost as we become an adult. And we just start to be a doing machine, but we're a human being. We're beings. And a child has that, and a baby has it. There's this presence. And as we get older and more educated, it gets closed down, but this keeps it open. So that's probably, I would say, my accomplishment. I'm in touch with that. And that's very, very, very precious to me. And the times in my life where I moved away from this life into other things, it closed. And I became feeling old. And then when I came back, it opened again. So that I would say is my accomplishment.
Wow, well said. Let's take a quick break, probably eat a mango, have a nice drink. And we'll be right back. We're gonna promote some of your events coming up, and we're gonna dive into that as we come back. So coming up, stay tuned. We got more with Niedra.
Thank you.
I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one.
Wow, welcome back. Well done. You see those videos about your work and your activities? Wow. It's like a
I love
professional
it.
television advertisement.
Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome back. Let's get into your upcoming trip to St. Lucia, the Body Holiday in on the 26th of this month, running until the 23rd of next month. So I realize I see you're gonna be at the Body Holiday and the Stolen Time Resort. Could you tell our audience all about it and as much as possible so you could, those who are interested might be able to have a way to join or to look at your show online. So tell us all about it.
So I'm going to be working at two resorts. They are sister resorts, both in St. Lucia, and they're both under an umbrella company called Sunswept Resorts. 2 weeks I'm going to be at the Body Holiday as a guest presenter. Guest presenter means I teach public classes to the guests who are coming for an all-inclusive vacation, and I'm training staff in Pilates for 2 weeks. I'm certifying them to become competent teachers, and staff from both resorts are going to be coming to that training. Then I move over to the sister location resort called Stolen Time Rendezvous. And that location, I'm doing a yoga teacher training. Both trainings are 30 hours in nature for staff, but there is a possibility that it will also be open to public. And then teachers from Body Holiday want to go and get trained in yoga will be coming over there. They're about 20 minutes, half an hour distance from each other. And I'm also going to be a guest presenter, teaching 1 or 2 classes a day to the guests and the public. And I'm assuming, unless I get some surprise requests, that I will be teaching at both resorts, both yoga and Pilates classes to the guests. So I mentioned this in case anybody wants to come for a fantastic vacation at either resort. I would suggest contacting the resorts. You can also contact me and just going out as a gift. If you want a last minute vacation in the Caribbean at an amazing all-inclusive resort, both of them are phenomenal. You get massages every day, you get classes, you get amazing food, you can drink yourself starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's water sports, there's tours, there's lectures. There is so much stimulation at both facilities. You can get manicures, pedicures, facials, all sorts of incredible treatments. Body Holiday has Ayurvedic treatments as well. So it's all about your health and vitality. And the motto is give us your body for a week and we will give you back your mind. And it's been a very, very, very successful brand because they have a very high percent of people coming back. So I'm at both resorts. I am there for a month. The teacher trainings are conceptually for staff, but if anybody wants to come out and attend a 30-hour training, 3 hours a day, and get certified as a teacher in fundamentals of how to teach, you basically walk out of any training I do capable of teaching the next day. So you get drilled within an inch of your life, but you have a ton of fun and you get super fit because you work out a lot. And if you want to come as a guest and be a guest, that's completely an option. If you want to come and do teacher training, please contact me directly so I can kind of help get the door open for you, because it's conceptually for locals and for the staff, but there have been exceptions made at various times. If you want to come as a guest, the door is wide open. You can also contact me or contact the resorts directly. And please mention that you heard about all of this through IC Caribbean and an interview podcast with myself and with Ison. So Yes, that's the scoop. That's the scoop. You will have a great time. You will get a taste of the Caribbean and have a vacation that will change your life. And I can honestly say, many people who just a little promotion for myself, I give good classes. Still have students from 8 or 10 years ago that I met there that have stayed in touch with me and continue on with private lessons with me to this day because they like my style of teaching and how I really problem solve them and their unique issues with their body. And I also work with people who haven't gone to the Caribbean and the body holiday or rendezvous. So the door is wide open.
So during you said a lot of good food, would there be any kind of mango eaten in those food presentation?
Big time, big time. I know you're a mango advocate, and I am too. Best mangoes in the world is in St. Lucia, and I believe this is a season. So all meals are amazing there. I mean, at the body holiday, they have 5 restaurants to give you context. Breakfast is in one location, huge array of fruit. And then, of course, you have different breads and cereals and yogurts and eggs and beans and, British style breakfast, huge amounts of food. And then lunch and dinner, they have 5 different types of restaurants. You have a casual buffet style. You have a very comfortable style where you are served by a waitress with a menu. There's a very high-end restaurant called Tao, which is very exclusive, and you have maybe 5 or 7 tables. I think now they have a new upgrade where they have special wine tasting. And there's a deli. I was like, what's the 5th one? There's a deli. So you can go there and get sandwiches and salads and shakes and smoothies and things like that. And all of this is inclusive. You like once you pay, that's it, unless you're having high-end wine with some specialty services. So food is to die for. Fabulous, fabulous choices. Tons of it's healthy food, but also decadent food. You have it all. And you can
Wow.
choose as you like. And it's really, 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 really fun. And lots of
So
alcohol.
the best way to get to you, I noticed that our team are posting your email address and some of the information. What would be the best way for someone to get to you if they want to be a part of your activities there at the holiday, body holiday?
So probably the best way is emailing me right now. Niedra Gabriel at gmail.com.
Okay.
And yeah, that would be the best way. I check my emails every day. We don't have a lot of time, but I would respond to you right away. If you're reaching out to me, give me your cell phone so we can text or call, just because we need to move fast. Yeah, but that's probably the best way. Or you can go to my website and contact me. I will get it the same way.
Okay, good. Now, tell us about the difference between yoga, Pilates, and a presenter. Walk us through those 3 different steps.
Oh, so let's start with, what does it mean to be a presenter? As I mentioned, they have classes that go on every day. The schedule is unbelievable. In fact, I've seen guests by day 4, they're getting stressed because they can't fit in all the different trainings they want to. And then they realize on vacation they want to actually chill on the beach. So within that, staff teach a lot. So they have their local kids, they actually call them bodyguards, but they are the kids that take care of the guests, and they're amazing talent. And they'll teach spinning and aerobics and martial arts or pole dancing or ab work or yoga or Pilates. So they have a whole huge crew of staff that teach. But then the resorts like to have somebody like a guest teacher, somebody that they bring in, that they promote on their website. So I'm brought in, I looked at the Body Holiday, they bring in special, let's say a special cyclist or special trainers or special different types of speciality. They've even, I remember they had somebody who was he'd won gold in the Olympics. So there was a guy who was a sprinter. There was somebody who was a diving competitor. So very unusual and brilliant people in their own field. They come out and they give classes and maybe they give talks. So they're on the schedule, just like everybody else, but they're like kind of the celebrity presenter of the week or the month. So that's a guest presenter.
Okay.
They're not somebody there all the time. And then within that, so if I'm a guest presenter, In other words, I am teaching yoga and Pilates, but I'm a guest. I'm not a local. I'm not like they're on their schedule all the time. January through December, I'm there just for these 2 weeks as a specialty touch per se. So that's a guest presenter. And then the difference between yoga and Pilates, they're both fitness, they're types of movement. Yoga is 5,000 years old. There are many, many, many brands of it. It's a very holistic way of opening up stressful areas in the body. It deals with breath work. It deals with stretching different parts of your body. So it's a combination of releasing tension from the body, and it can also be used as a fitness modality. Usually it's one shape. You put your body into one shape at a time. So let's say you're standing and then you bend over to touch the floor. Maybe you touch the floor, maybe you don't. But then maybe you'll hold it and you'll feel your hamstrings, you'll feel your low back. You take your time and you focus that your breath is not stressed. So it's a slower practice most of the time, unless you're doing a very modern hybridized version of yoga. Pilates is a more developed by a German called Joseph Pilates. It's probably he came out to the US in about 1967, and earlier than that. But he opened a studio. He had a very unique approach to fitness, and it's more movement-based. In other words, you're linking one movement with the next, like, let's say, dancing salsa. You're not like holding a shape. You are moving from this to this to this to this. Also brilliantly designed, and that has 2 umbrella segments. You have what's called mat work, what I will be teaching in the Caribbean. You just do it on the mat. It's floor work. You're lying down, you're rolling up, lots and lots and lots of core related exercises. And then you have studio Pilates, which is where you have certain equipment that this man, Joseph Pilates, developed to when he found that people could not really, sometimes they weren't doing it right on the floor and they needed things to ground and connect them. Let's say the left side was much weaker than the right, and you can kind of connect the 2 sides of the body on the machines. They're both relatives to me because they're all based on alignment. When people ask me, what should I do, yoga or Pilates? My answer is always, what you like. Some people love yoga. Some people love Pilates. They're both good, both fabulous workouts. Just do what you like. Just find something and keep on going with it. Find a good teacher, train, enjoy that you're moving your body, and you will progress. It's not like one's better than the other. They're relatives because they have the same mindset of organizing the skeleton so it's effective, efficient, and balanced.
Wow, well said. Pretty sure all the answers are in those presentation there. Now, coming up, we're going to take a short break, but I kind of Googled you and I was looking at your video round back. If you notice, you see the way I'm sitting?
Like this.
Yes, it seemed like you were speaking to me directly, because from a kid, I never sit up straight. And when the teacher told me to sit up straight, I even been hunched down more, and I'm feeling some of those events. So when I look at the video round back, I go, wow, this was, and then I was trying to do some of the exercise.
Oh,
which was good and interesting. So coming up, we're gonna dive into your video round back and also your upcoming retreat in Greece. So we'll be right back with more of Niedra.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. Our guest speaker, Niedra Gabriel, 40 plus years in the yoga Pilates business and heading into St. Lucia to show off some of her stuff at the Body Holiday. Let's talk about the video round back video. It was very interesting. And I see you have a lot of views. Almost 88,000 people look at the video. So tell us about it. I like it, and seem like I'm getting hooked and some of your work. So tell us about the video. It was nice.
Was it on Pilates Anytime?
Yes, it was on the YouTube. It was on the YouTube. Yes, that's it.
The YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, or because I worked for some online companies, so I'm a little bit like fuzzy what that was. But I can tell you, when you say round back, I'll talk about it, and then I'm assuming it was a Pilates video for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, I'll back up and say we sit in the modern world. There's certain ongoing conditions that are just very visible in the physiology of everybody walking around now. One is we all have a cell phone. So notice a slunch. The shocking part of this is that kids who are teenagers are now having degenerated necks that used to only show up when you were 68 years old, because they're already collapsing the physiology of their body. We sit at desks, we work at computers, and there's a weakness that kicks in that collapses the chest and collapses the abdominals and starts to break down the body. Now, I always say sitting isn't going away. Our lifestyle isn't going away. So we need damage control. We need to control what's going on, be aware of what the enemy is. I don't like to use that word, but this is truth. I sit a lot as well, which means the hips are flexed. So round back in that video. Now within Pilates, we do a lot of core work where we're rounding, but not the upper back. We're rounding the lower back in order to strengthen the core. So most probably in that video, and class, we were working extensively on reconnecting the abdominal muscles so it can hold the low back steady so that the body can be erect in a more efficient way. So there's a lot to this whole body story. How do you reconnect muscles? Ison, if you were as a child, your mom was always yelling at you, like people are always told, stand up straight, sit up straight, and you kind of go like this and you pull your shoulders back and you feel like an idiot, and then you want to relax and you collapse again, or you slump back in your chair because the whole muscle structure is tired and fatigued. So, and it doesn't really do anything. That's why I like the classes, because in the classes you get to really stress the body the right way. You have to rebuild your whole back muscles. They don't just stand up straight, does nothing except irritate and aggravate people. And then they do it and they go, oh, my posture is so bad. And it's not how you solve the problem. You need to solve the problem with much more than that. So that video round back probably was breaking down and addressing the different parts of the back, because there's a difference between your upper back, your chest, and your shoulders, and your lower back, the area of your waist and your buttocks. And the area where the muscles are, the opposite muscles. You need stomach muscles in the lower body, you need back muscles in the upper body. So how to build both of them and then make them stack is part of it. And what's cool about the human body is that you get these things fired, you wake them up. It's kind of like taking a car, to get the car going from parked to fifth gear, there's a certain first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. There's a momentum that has to kick into place, and then everything goes nice and easy. But the startup is a lot of energy and a lot of work. So it's kind of like that in our bodies. To get things connected up again, Ison, in your case, getting your back muscles really turned on is more than just sitting up straight for a moment. That's why a class is so good. You get this, and then later you suddenly go around, you go, God, it feels better to be hanging out here than to be hanging out here. It literally feels better. But to get the body there so it's happy in a new shape is what you work towards in both the modalities, Pilates and yoga. So I assume that's what I was dealing with on round back.
Yeah, if you notice, I'm doing the interview and you see I'm trying to sit up straight as I ask that question.
Yes, you're like, you're onto the subject.
Okay, let's get into some of your upcoming retreat. We know we're aware you have one coming up in Greece there in October. So let's get into that, and then let's get into your retreat for 2024. So let's take a quick break. Do you have any mangoes? Do you have any water?
Actually, I do. I had mango this morning, Ison.
Oh, see, okay, let's take a quick break and we're going to come back and dive into Greece and upcoming 2024 retreat.
Okay, sounds good.
There's nothing sweeter, there's nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. We going to Rodney Bay, straight after Cozy Lake. Fish Friday, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Link up by the Cabaway, then straight to Ancillary. Street party, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Oh, St. Lucia, oh, nothing sweeter than you. Sweet island, sweet nation, sweet woman. Nothing a Joey Lincoln. A pet in a lime in a drinking a lot. A jam in a Indian, I meet wrong the block. The rest of the world watching me like a dot. But still I love my island. As soon as I wake up to the roti shop, I eating some doubles, the pepper real hot. But missing my green pig and saltfish a lot. Oh God, I love my island.
All right, we are back with the IC Caribbean podcast, and our special guest is Niedra Gabriel, yoga Pilates teacher, trainer, presenter for over 40 plus years. Wow, huge accomplishment. All right, Niedra, let's get into your Greece retreat, which is coming up in October, and if you have any other planned retreat coming up in 2024. Let our audience know where they could get in touch with you, how they could be there, and all the good stuff for those who want to attend.
So I've been hosting retreats for 10 years. I host yoga retreats. I usually do one in Costa Rica and one in Europe every year. And I do have my yoga retreat coming up in October 15th to 22nd. Yoga retreats are very concentrated time period. So really people go through a massive transformation during that time, the people who turn up, because we do classes morning and evening, probably have 90 minutes to 2 hours. We address many, many, many aspects of their body, their personality, their mind, the cycle of life, because at different ages, we are different types of people, we have different needs, and really understanding how to be a better human being, because ultimately that's about what it's all about. I love it because at the beginning, the first few days, I'm just feeling out the group, seeing what people's abilities are, and it kind of goes like this. Because by the end of that week, things are happening in their bodies they didn't even know was possible. And I would say they love it because I have a lot of people coming back to more than one retreat. So it's a very special time because we get to know each other intimately. We delve into meditation, we delve into breath work, we delve into, of course, all the different types of poses. We go on adventure tours. It's a fabulous, fabulous time period together. And it's a form of a retreat and a break from life. So this retreat coming up, there's still a few spots. If you go on my website, you can sign up. If you sign up or email me, it's probably even better because I have 3 rooms left. And if there's an influx and there's 5 people registering, I need to be able to qualify or basically manage the sign up. So please, if you sign up, either email me or register, but don't buy your plane ticket because I will respond to you right away because you want to be sure you really have a spot. If you happen to sign up and it's full, I will refund you everything right away. Just as an awareness of this. 2024, of course, I have my European and my Costa Rica retreats. I have not set dates. Actually, Costa Rica dates are set, but Ison and I have been brainstorming having a retreat in the Caribbean. We haven't really settled on location and dates, but I think it's an awesome, awesome idea. I love the Caribbean. And we are in discussion about it. So again, reach out to either IC Caribbean or to myself about 2024, because we're looking to settle on dates, location, and the itinerary of what it will encompass, whether we'll dovetail it with a festival or go and be on a retreat for 5 days and then go and do, let's say, jazz or food or something else. I don't know. We haven't designed it yet, but it's in the works.
Sounds good. Now, I'm from the Caribbean, and I see Caribbean, and I'm always throwing spaghetti on the wall. So this is something that, here's a question. Now, for new like students or maybe tourism employee who interested in Pilates or yoga, is there a way that we could you could connect with them, or is there opportunity that there is there a way that we could reach those students who might be interested, or the tourism employment who might be listening or might be looking? Is there a way that we could connect with them so they could experience your all the talent you have in Pilates and
Of course. I mean, I work mostly with my private business. I work mostly on Zoom. So I teach a lot of clients in Europe every week. And I can always coordinate a group class for people to via Zoom, just so that they can meet me and I can meet them, and I can give them, we can go over basics. Again, depends on the level of the people. So I'm assuming that that's kind of can happen and happens all the time. So with the modern world, needing to go somewhere to meet someone and work with them is not a necessary thing. Hopefully, then we'll all want to meet up face to face and do something live. But online, I can really help a person a lot individually. So whether it's a group or private, Zoom is always an option. Again, I can be reached via my email or my website to discuss this and explore this always.
For the Zoom training, is there how much would the fee be compared to the in-person training? Is there a big difference?
The way I manage it in the US for US people and Europeans, and I'm very respectful that economies are different, incomes are different in different locations.
That's true.
Here, I would say, I mean, I teach basically a private lesson with me is $100. People want a share lesson, it can be shared, because on Zoom we can have more than one face. If I meet with a person live, once a week here in California, I go to a Pilates studio, and so I have private clients, and it's $120 for live. But it's very, it's also to be created. Sometimes if a person really needs help and they can't afford it, I work with people for free. It's like I'm my own boss. I'm not limited to anything. It mostly depends what is the need, what is the purpose, and what's appropriate.
Okay, sounds good, because we are in trying to reach out to a lot of these different tourism departments and also the high schools. So it came across that if there's a way that we could help train them, maybe online, maybe the tourism department or maybe the government will help pay for some of these students to do the online classes. So that's why I was brought up that question. So there's opportunity there in case someone interested. So that's good.
And I'm planning to deliver, Ison, all the teacher trainings that I'm doing. They're also set up that they can be done online over 2 long weekends, 5 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because my whole intention was, how can I help people get certified and basically have an in-depth training? Because if you do a teacher training, even if you don't want to teach, you will get so much material and so much insight into how to work with your own body. So that is something in the works that for future, doing teacher trainings and in-depth training online as well.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's take our final break. Upcoming, we're going to close it out and give you the opportunity to say bring up anything that I might not ask. So we're going to take a quick mango break and come right back.
There's nothing sweeter, there's nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. We going to Rodney Bay, straight after Cozy Lay. Fish Friday, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Link up by the Cabaway, then straight to Anslare. Street party, nothing better. Nice like this with St. Lucia. Oh, St. Lucia, oh. Nothing sweeter than you. Sweet island, sweet nation, sweet woman. Nothing sweeter than you. Oh, St. Lucia. Look, I'm in Trinidad. One of the better years I've had. All of the girls, them ballin', freaky girl. We can see them calling. Yet I miss my country bad, but I'll be back for carnival. I can't wait for the big back truck. Mega Joey Lincoln. A pet in a lime in a drinking a lot. A jam in a Indian, I meet wrong the dog. The rest of the world watching me like a dot. But still I love my island. As soon as I wake up to the roti shop, I eating some doubles, the pepper real hot. But missing my green pig and saltfish a lot. Oh God, I love my island.
All right, we are back with Niedra. Again, is there any? I know for this again, really appreciate you taking time to spend time with us. It's our second interview. Ask you a lot of questions, so we'll give you the opportunity. Is there anything that you would like to say to our audience that maybe I didn't ask, or something that you have that you would like to share with us?
Nothing beyond, if you haven't been to the Caribbean, you should go. Any of the islands has got a unique spirit, very special.
All right. So again, we have to get you down to St. Kitts. I mean, St. Lucia is nice. They got the twin Piton, which is a complete different, but you know, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, and Trinidad, especially Dominica, the nature islands, and then you have Anguilla. So hopefully we probably could do something like I mentioned before, either in Anguilla or in Dominica. Those are two nature, you know, not overdeveloped with a bunch of investment. They still have a lot of nature, so that's something I think would be interesting to you and your yoga, Pilates stuff in those areas. So something that we could work on in the future.
Fabulous.
But it was a pleasure having you. We appreciate you, and again, we want to be a part. I think we could take this to the next level. Our podcast and technical team, as you could see the presentation today with some of your stuff, I think we have one of the best, if not the best. So again, we appreciate the team behind the scene who were not seen, who put in those videos and those email address and stuff together. So on behalf of the IC Caribbean podcast team, our host is Linky. She been out for a while, but hopefully she should be back. That's the lady voice at the beginning of the show. She put the voice together, and then we have a Beware who's with us working from the back, and then we have her twin sister, I like to call it. They're actually sisters. Alina, she is in the back pulling some of these stuff. So we really appreciate you coming on the show and spending an hour with us, and then really appreciate the technical team behind IC Caribbean. So again, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening over there in Santa Barbara, California.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you
Bye
all.
bye. All right.
Bye.